A long time ago, in the ancient age of before the internet, people used to read books. Even you may have seen a book at some point in your life. It's one of those small, rectangular things, usually covered with letters, and on the inside are blocks of text imbued with the magical power of making you bored just by looking at them from a distance. Nowadays, they're mostly used as a decorative item. The owner will stack several unread books into a line on a shelf, as it is moderately aesthetically pleasing, and it also makes them appear more intelligent than they really are to any potential visitors. After all, why should one read books now that we have super easy access to all of the world's information for free, laying in our pocket? I don't need an encyclopedia now that I have Wikipedia, the most convenient source of knowledge which is also universally hated by teachers worldwide who say that it is not reliable, even though they are probably just jealous since they had to look up things in books, like peasants. The way it seems, nowadays, there is just no reason to read books. Just kidding, books are sick. Here's a couple reasons why.
The content.
The internet, in all of its spectacular glory of unlimited entertainment, knowledge, and pornography, has a few drawbacks. One of them is the fact that it has too many of all those things and it's constantly trying to ram as much of it as possible down our throats. It's like when you go to your grandma's house. You say that you're not really hungry, but your grandma doesn't take no as an answer and force feeds you a humongous meal with a caloric value equivalent to a stick of dynamite. This wouldn't be too bad if 90% of information on the internet wasn't pure garbage. Seriously, who reads this type of crap? That is where books come in. Somebody out there, for God knows what reason, has put an enormous amount of effort into writing a book, sourcing it, it has then been approved by publishers, and then it was read and rated by many readers. That makes books perfect for learning about a topic you're interested in. You're guaranteed an excessive amount of reliable information, neatly organized and written in a pleasant manner. You'll rarely find any useless fodder, repetition of what you've already read, or things that are simply made up. It is what you could nowadays call good content. They also make up for a distraction-free experience, as they fortunately haven't managed yet to put ads into books.
Better your brain.
One guy, John Addison, once said, "Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body." Simply put, reading makes your brain better, and who doesn't want a better brain? Reading books has been shown to improve a person's creativity, focus, writing skills, analytical and critical thinking skills, memory, vocabulary, and open-mindedness. If life was a video game, reading a good book would straight up raise the intelligence stat. But wait, there's more! By default, reading books makes you more knowledgeable. Did you know being more knowledgeable makes you a much more interesting person to talk to and spend time with? Not only that, it also makes you more attractive. That was the deal breaker for me. Many people shy away from reading because they associate it with studying, which they hate because of the obsolete and generally terrible school system that is used across the world. Many students dislike studying because they are often forced to study something they don't really give a crap about. Books aren't like that. You are free to only pick the books that you're genuinely interested in and read those. Even if you already started reading and you find out the book is not as interesting as you thought, nothing is stopping you from simply picking up another, more interesting book. Reading should be entertaining, which brings me to the next point.
It's fun, lol.
Books? Fun? No way. So far, I've been mostly talking about non-fiction books, but all of these points apply to fiction as well. Getting lost in a good story can be as much fun as finding a new amazing TV show and then binging it for hours, with the only difference being that instead of watching just one more episode, you simply have to read just one more page. There's thousands of amazing stories out there. The variety is great. There's bound to be something for everyone. If you can't find a good story to read, then you're most likely just finding excuses so you wouldn't have to read. Shame on you. The feeling that you can't replicate anywhere else, though, is the one of reading a book that completely challenges your worldview and consistently blows your mind with every page. It is a surprisingly good feeling, finding out how much you don't know that you don't know.
It's convenient.
But I have no time to read. I'm a busy person.
Silence.
Vast majority of you has the time, just spend it somehow else, like watching TV, playing games, having a wank, or just some other form of procrastination. Invest that time into reading and therefore investing into yourself. If you're new to reading books or you haven't read in a long time, it can be difficult in the beginning. Reading is a habit like any other and therefore needs to be learned gradually. You don't need to spend hours reading when you're starting off, read just a couple pages at a time. As long as you do it consistently every day, you're good to go. Not only you'll be able to read faster soon, you'll also want to read more. The ideal time to be reading is the hour before you go to sleep. It's great for calming your mind down, and it does not emit any blue light like phones or computers do, so it doesn't disrupt your sleep. What blew my mind several years ago are audiobooks. All of those hours that I spent every day by commuting, cooking, cleaning, and similar type of work, I could now spend by listening to a book. Thanks to that, suddenly I went from not reading at all to reading about 2 hours a day without stopping any of my other activities. I highly recommend audiobooks. Reading has changed my life immensely, and for the better. The topic I was most interested in was self-help, and I suppose if you're watching this video, it interests you as well. Few books that blew my mind were How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, and The 4-Hour Workweek. by Tim Ferriss. These are just recommendations. Feel free to pick any other book that you might like. Also, don't spend too much time thinking about whether a book would be the perfect one for you. Just start reading. Peace.